Hi there, Sean here from the Sci-Fi Model Guy, and welcome to take 2 of the intro for this video, because I just did a whole one and forgot to touch the record button, so here we go. Welcome to another video build series, everyone. We are doing a AMT 172 scale runabout from Deep Space Nine. We've got the box right here. This one's been a lot of fun. She's almost done. Here's a little bit of a sneak peek. She's really looking great. I can't wait for you to see the processes and the things we've done to get this kit going. It's been a blast. So that's it, everyone. Short video. It's hot as blazes in here. I've already done this take once. The only thing I'll say here is remember #Enterprise. Get that in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We are at 952 of you out there, which I'm just blessed and amazed. We just need 48 more to click that subscribe button and just stick for a little bit, and then we'll be doing that giveaway of the 650 AMT Enterprise kit for you. Fully lit, fully customized, anything you want on it, it's yours. So go ahead and make sure you enter yourself for that, #Enterprise. And that's it. The only other news for the channel, everyone, is I'm going to be traveling for a couple of weeks, so I've got a lot of content kind of built up. I'm not doing any viewer mail on this one, probably not for the next one either, because I'm going to be out of town, so I'm going to be editing those videos on the fly. So, but please continue to send me your pictures of your projects. Again, it doesn't have to be science fiction. It can be anything that you want, anything that you're working on, anything you worked on as a kid that you just still have. You send it over. We will show it here on this channel, because this channel is about you. And there goes my microphone. So everyone, that's a sign to stop talking, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, everyone. Well, you have a great day wherever you are, and we will see you down the road. Take care. All right, everyone. Here we are with another first chapter video, and this is going to be Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the Rio Grande Runabout. And these are always a lot of fun to do here. So let's get to talking about it, huh? So she's still sealed. Now I picked this model up at a place called King's Hobby down in Austin, Texas. It was a really nice find. It's still in really good shape. And one cool thing I want to point out is right here. Look at that, everyone. It still has the Toys R Us original price tag for $15.99. Picked it up for $40. And wow, what a cool find. I just love this this sticker. It brings back some memories, huh, of the Toys R Us. I think there's maybe one left in Canada. So before we open it up here, so let's look at the what's written on the side. Now it says a highly detailed plastic model kit. It's a 172 scale measuring 12 inches long after fully being assembled. Features detachable Deep Space Nine sensor array, features detachable Deep Space sensor array, decals to build the Rio Grande, USS Yangtze Kiang, or USS Ganchi's Runabout. We're going to go with the Rio Grande, but let's see here. Over here it says glue required for assembly, paint recommended over 44 parts. Wow, that's quite a few. Commitment to quality, phone number there. Let's see over here. Okay, that's just the same stuff. There's the price tag that we were talking about. I'm definitely going to save that. The other stuff on the other side is pretty much the same stuff. Let's look at this part real quick, though. So right here it says sensor cluster attaches for mission-specific tasks, warp drive reactor, viewports, port side mission-specific cargo module, Bussard ram scoop, warp engine nacelle. All right, so we're going to get the old X-Acto knife out here. And before I do that, I'm just going to cut this. I'm just going to cut this price tag off. And yeah, it's a little bit sentimental, but you just can't find any Toys R Us price tags these days. So it'd be nice if they came back. I really miss that store. Even as an adult, would go in there to see what kind of toys and things that they might have that I like, especially video games, things like that. Transformers would sometimes come out with a updated kit once the Hasbro, and I think it was Hasbro, once they realized that the Gen X that they sold to in the 80s now had this thing called disposable income. So, all right, let's open this up. Be very careful. I like to save these boxes. Wow, look at this. That is white. So we'll turn the light over here so you can see better. I had it turned the other way just because of the glare coming off of that cellophane. All right. Well, let's see here. Let's move everything over here. Got some clear parts there. Subscribe to the Blueprinter. I've never heard of the Blueprinter. Information on new AMT releases. Question and answer section. Huh. I wonder if it's still around. I'll have to look that up. Some of you out there probably know. Now, here are the decals that came in. We're going to talk about that soon. Okay, this goes away. All right, let's get the scissors out here. I like to do these. These unboxings are fun. Okay. Let's see what we have going on here. Okay, so here are definitely the nacelles. These look like viewport or windows. Here's the Bussard collectors. I like this. They kind of look like they're frosted already, but we'll scuff those up even more to get the paint to go on a little bit better. It's always good to scuff these with some especially. Now this is actually one exception here I will make, because usually I don't like to use the steel wool, which is right here. Usually don't like to use that because of the little bits and pieces that come off, but that does work very well for these guys. So that is an exception that we'll make. So we'll definitely get that, and then the windows, we'll scuff those up to get that nice hazy look to them. These little pieces, I don't know what they're for, but this is a pretty good quality here. They don't make them like they used to, as the saying goes, right? All right, so let's open this one. Hopefully everyone here, hopefully you're enjoying these like kind of older kits that we're doing. You know, I'm of two minds about it. Sometimes I'd like to make sure that I build stuff that you all can follow along with and build with me, because I know these are hard to come by and they're rare. But it's fun to go back and give these things some love here. So, all right, let's take these one at a time. All right, so let's make sure here. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is an interesting piece. Now, there is a lot of detail on here. This is going to require quite a bit of masking work to get some nice detail on, and that's pretty cool. It's going to be one of those things that's really worth the time to do. A lot of details, really thick plastic here. Let's see, do I have a flashlight here? And I don't think I do. Let me go get one. All right, so got a flashlight here. And we do have a lot of light coming through. I was just wondering how much this would block the light. There's no problem though. It's nice and thick though, so I don't think we're gonna need too many coats as far as light blocking on this one. Besides, I don't think there are many windows on here. We'll have to look at some footage. And besides, it's the scale is actually pretty large for this 172 scale, so it's not like we're going to be drilling tiny window holes in here. So let's see. Okay, so we'll check the light leak on this one too. Yeah, same here. So these are going to be the most challenging to light block, probably, the nacelles. There's a lot of detail on these things. So yeah, we'll probably have to do quite a bit of putty work. Here's the other side of them. Okay, I'll move that over there. Here's some more side pieces, little accessory things, probably those mission-specific modules that the side of the box was talking about. Let's see here. Now it looks like some really nice connection on the sprues here. I don't see a lot of flash, which is really nice. So they really did a good job back then. AMT always does a good job, but this looks like it's a very well put together model. Very little flash. The connection points between the sprues and the actual pieces are small, so that's nice, which means we'll have to do minimal filing and cleanup on that. Here's some more pieces. I wouldn't even begin to know what these are. This looks like maybe impulse engines. It's kind of coming off there. That's okay. Really nice detail. This is going to be a lot of fun to mask and just paint. These little things like this are going to require some hand brushing, and that's going to be fun. I always like to do little details and kind of have artistic license with that. This little grid assembly will be nice to do some detail on. I can already imagine maybe some dark gray in here compared to the light blue general color of the later Starfleet ships. At least that's what I like to paint them in. Here's a couple more looks like side assembly pieces. Very, very detailed. Here's some stuff that looks like some wires there. That'll be nice. Paint like a silver or aluminum color there. Very nice. Really well made. I mean, even the feel of these, it feels sturdy. All right, and to the main part of the ship. Old rubber band. Still has got some spring in it. It's about a 30-year-old rubber band. Okay, now here's some flash there. That's just on the sprues, thankfully. There's a little bit here on the rear, on the aft end of the ship. Let's see. Now this area here where these connect, now these are pretty thick. These generally present a little bit of a pain where, you know, when you've got to be very careful cutting these off and then filing them, because if you bend it like this, it will tend to warp the plastic and make it, you know, apparent that something happened there. So we'll have to cut them off very carefully. Kind of like the saucer section of the 650 Enterprise is a lot like that. I wish that AMT would you know, update that for the saucer section, because I've built probably 6 of them now. I'm in the middle of another one right now, and I have yet to find a saucer section that doesn't have these ugly flash things on the side. It would be nice if they could update that. So if anyone from AMT is listening, the modelers would appreciate that and that to be cleaned up a little bit. Okay, and here's underneath ship again. A lot of detail went into this. I can see a lot of brush work is going to be needed on that, which is neat. I always like doing that. Little intricate brush work is a fun part for me to really get in there and do it. I like it far better than airbrushing, that's for sure. So, all right. Well, let's look at the instructions here. Wow, that's pretty large here. There's a lot of words here, which I won't go about reading too much of it. This is when the Federation took over the Cardassian-built space station Deep Space Nine, they found it necessary to outfit the station with a means of transportation other than the transporter. Well, obviously. And a full-size starship type of vehicle such as the Enterprise. The answer was the Federation Runabout, which had both warp speed and was sized to fit the internal storage and elevators already built in the space station. Okay, so it's kind of like a super shuttle, longer range, etc., things like that. Okay, here we are. Some warnings, equipment you'll need: hobby knife, tweezers. Read all labels and warnings carefully. Building tips for the advanced modeler. Now this would be interesting because they don't have this anymore. The kits they pretty much assume if you're going to do something advanced that you already know, or you'll seek out the information on the internet. For the best possible finish, your kit should be painted, even if molded in color. Paint should be applied evenly in several thin coats rather than one heavy coat. The first coat should not completely cover the surface. Each layer should be allowed to thoroughly dry before the next is applied. Also, each coat should be wet sanded except for the final coat using number 1200 wet or dry sandpaper. Now that is something I don't do. And actually it's interesting to read these things because I never knew to do that. Haven't seen to have the need for it. Maybe the paint's gotten better nowadays. I don't know. But if you're out there and you do that, let me know. Maybe it'd be worth a try. I don't think I'll do it on this model because, you know, we've got so many levels here of elevation, you know, recesses and embossed areas and things like that. I don't think the sanding would do very well because it would be so applied so unevenly, you know, like you'd get some areas sanded and some not. Although I will say this, I have sanded paint before if I get a little blotch, a little drop that kind of forms up or it's uneven. I mean, definitely we've all sanded that, but this is saying to do it in between each coat, which is interesting. Okay, we're going on here. It is important to keep your hands clean when working with your model and wash parts thoroughly before painting to remove any mold release agent that may have been used during manufacture. And that's something we have talked about with pretty much with every build that we do. We take these things off and we will wash them in some lukewarm water with some Dawn dish detergent. That's very good at releasing oil. And then as far as keeping our hands clean, yes, absolutely. And in fact, if you are going to be handling the model a lot, I recommend using like the neoprene gloves. I think it's called neoprene. Let's go here. I've got it over here. Okay, sorry about that edit. I went and got the box of gloves that I use here. Nitrile gloves. I always say neoprene. Neoprene, I think, is the stuff used for wetsuits. I use these disposable nitrile gloves. They're very good. You can reuse them a lot. When I do these, I'll just take them off and set them aside. I'll use them to handle pieces to get like you can see here, I was painting a piece earlier and got a little of the black primer on my hand. Didn't expect to, but anyway, that's another reason to wear the gloves. Let's see here. What else do we have? Body oil from your hands. Yeah. Sanding residue and dust, which is naturally attracted to plastic by static electricity. Okay, I didn't know that. Use a mild solution of dishwashing detergent, which we talked about, and water. A tack rag should be used to dry the parts. Do not use paper towels or tissues since they will leave lint on the part. Now, I'm guilty of using that. Haven't had a problem yet because I use this little guy here and get it off. But I do use a tack rag after, so I'll dry it off with the paper towel, and then I'll use a tack rag to pick any of that stuff up. Haven't had a problem. And usually you'll see that also, like for instance, you prime a piece or you paint it, and sometimes you get a little piece of fuzz on there or something like that, and you'll see that after you paint it, and you just brush it off with your finger, and as long as you get that off before the final coat, you should be okay. Anyway, this is kind of interesting to read this. Let's see. Parting lines and glue joints should be sanded or filed prior to painting and cementing. Parting lines and glue joints should be, yeah, definitely. You want to sand those down after gluing them together. And then also you want to use the putty there in between those lines. Even if you don't think you see a seam, it's good to put a thin layer, at least of this stuff, to make sure that you don't see any seam lines. Sanded or filed, yeah, it's filed prior to painting. Yeah, I definitely recommend sanding, filing, and a little bit of that red spot putty. Let's see, because paint has a tendency to draw away from sharp edges, they should be lightly filed. Use filler putty. Oh, there we go. Use filler putty designed for plastic to fill small gaps that may occur between parts and to blend contours. This should be done only after the first or primer coat of paint is applied. Now, that is kind of true. I tend to do a little bit of the spot putty first, and then sand it down a heck of a lot, almost to where there's none. Then I'll prime it, and then we'll put a little bit more putty. But again, interesting to read these things because you know what? I mean, we could not hurt to read the directions, even if you think you know everything. There is always something worth learning, which is why we're reading this, I guess. When painting a two-tone body, the lightest color should be painted first. Use frosted or matte magic tape to mask off the area you do not want painted. After the second color is dry to the touch, the tape can be removed. Use a very fine brush to touch up edges if necessary. Okay, so I see what that's saying. So you want to do like the light coat and then mask the light coat and then paint the dark coat. Gotcha. If decals are to be added, do so before adding any gloss coat. Interesting. Okay. A gloss coat will help even out the edges. Let's read that again. I skipped a sentence. After the second color is dry to the touch, the tape can be removed. Use a very fine brush to touch up any edges if necessary. Okay. If decals are to be added, do so before adding a gloss coat. Okay, so the gloss coat I get, but I will kind of disagree there. I tend to apply at least one coat of the matte finish and then put the decals because I find that it adheres more evenly. Also, when I'm using the water slide decals, the matte finish helps because water will tend to smudge. It will leave deposits. It will leave oil. It will make things dirty, in my experience. Now, maybe I'm doing it wrong. But yeah, I found that one coat of the gloss helps because that water will smudge things. All right, let's see here. Again, I fully admit I could be wrong. Wow, look at this here. I'm gonna have to zoom out. Let's zoom out there and make sure we are, yep. Okay, hull assembly. Gives some little call outs here. Starboard, impulse nozzle. Okay, at least it names what these things are. Sensor cluster and antenna, lower sensor cluster housing. Well, that's pretty cool that they're doing that. I wonder if the Michael and Denise Okuda helped with these instructions, at least with identifying the parts. Forward warp engine core, paint backside tail light. It gives a tail light red. Lower port warp nacelle, starboard lower. That's interesting. I like that they did that. Starboard wing and impulse engine assembly. Really neat stuff. Okay, I'm not going to read everything there. Then we'll go to the back. Oh boy, look at this. This looks like a Scotty's tech manual here. Paint and decal. So it's giving us what colors to paint stuff. So it's saying light gray, light sea gray, dark ghost gray, dark. Wow, there's a lot of colors here. This is going to take a while to do these here. That's for sure. For ship base color, paint camouflage gray, and then paint panels and components as shown. So yeah, I don't know about the base color. Now the base, well, at least what this is saying, the base color I like to use, which I will go and grab real quick. All right, there's another quick edit as I grabbed some paint here. So as we're talking about the color, so here's the box there, and the color I like to use for the later Starfleet ships is this here. This is a Tamiya AS5 light blue, and you can see here it really does match. I mean, there's different shadings here, but this is kind of it's a bluish gray color on the lighter side, and I just find that this looks more screen accurate when we're looking at the Starfleet ships. It's kind of like what I call the modern Starfleet, or the later versions of Starfleet colors. I just think it's a nice hull color to use. And it does go good with other grays like that. And for instance, what I'll do is, again, I'll stand up here. And here's one that's actually from the same show. Here we are with the Defiant. So let's move the box out of the way and the instructions out of the way. And here we are with the USS Defiant. Now this is a model that I built quite some time ago. Let's zoom in there. And this one I was really proud of. Took a lot of masking. I think this was like a light gray spray, and then some other darker grays there. And this was like a green. I think it's a NATO green color. But this base color here, this is that light blue that we were just talking about. And I just think it looks like a Starfleet ship, this color. And you can see here, it does go good with different grays. I think this would be a good color for the Runabout. Now this model is not lit. I built this before I started lighting things. This one took quite a while, but you know, the painting, the masking took a long time. There's all these little irregular shapes, and I was using just pieces of tape that were cut, and you know, I'd cut out a few pieces, however many I could fit, spray it, and then take them off and just keep going. And a couple of them I had to do over again. So yeah, that took quite a bit of time. But she came out really nice. It would have been nice to light this kit. I do have another one, a box one, unopened there, that one day we will get around to lighting this, because it's a nice ship. I've seen some nice builds of this lit, because these little, you know, the warp engines have a nice light to it. The deflector array has lights, and then these four there. So it's really a neat ship to light. Okay, so now going back to the decals that we were talking about, which I buried under here. There we go. So these are the decals that came with it, and I ordered a replacement version of these from HCA Model Works, which again, they do not sponsor this channel, but I really recommend using them. They're great. Jerry over there gets things out accurately and quickly in the mail. Everything always arrives exactly as ordered, undamaged, packaged well, and you just can't go wrong. And so I just ordered these replacement decals for the Runabout. And the reason I did that, just because when I bought this, I knew, I mean, these decals, folks, are 30 years old. So there's a very good chance that when I put these into water, they're just going to disintegrate. So these are just these are replacement decals for that, and we'll just go ahead and use them. And they do have some other options too as well. There's like the NX72003, which I don't know why. I'll have to look at what that was. Maybe if I can remember, I'll put that up on the screen right here, what the NX72003 was. But NX indicates it was an experimental ship, like the Excelsior was NX2000, I think. And of course, the Enterprise from, you know, Captain Archer's was the NX01. So it'd be interesting to see what that is. Maybe that's the first Runabout. Don't know. But yeah, so this is pretty cool. And there's some extra options there. I don't know what these are. Just some kind of weird decals. There's some orange pieces there, or yellow rather. Extra for RCS kit parts, 13 and 14, cut to fit if needed. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I've found that HCA Model Works decals are generally superior to what you will get in the kits, just because they're definitely printed on laser printer. They're done individually, and they always have come out really nice. Can't go wrong. Always, if you're doing one of these kits, always check HCA Model Works to see if they have any replacement decals available, or added decals, Aztec stuff for the Enterprise E, Enterprise C, so on like that. All right. Well, everyone, so that's it. Just a little bit of an unboxing video there. And not really sure how long this one's going to take us, but we'll definitely get through it. This should be a nice, fun build. It'll be a nice addition to the collection here. And we'll get to practice some stuff, you know, a lot of masking work to be done for sure. And I think this will turn out to be a really neat kit. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll see you in about a week with Chapter 2.